We are very bullish on the real estate market in the future. And honestly, that hasn't changed. We come from a multi-generational real estate family, so we're a little biased, but it's always worked. Investing in real estate is the primary way you can build long-term wealth for you and your family, especially in an area like the Bay Area where there's a lot of tech growth, a lot of job growth. But we believe in buying real estate when it's the right time for you. Yeah. The Bay Area and San Francisco specifically is what we call a step-ladder appreciation market. So you're gonna go up, sideways, down a little bit, up, sideways, but over time, you will eventually go up like this. This is my fancy arm bar graph. But we're very bullish on real estate in general because it's hard to build more real estate in the Bay Area. So in areas like Texas, Middle America, there's a lot of land, a lot of space, not building restrictions, height limits. In a city like San Francisco, we're only 7 by 7 miles. There's not more housing that's going to be built. There isn't a very finite area south of Market, but in general, your Russian Hills, your Hayes Valley, your Mission Dolores, your Sunset.
Well, it comes down to supply and demand, right? It's a basic economic factors, and when the supply is, historically and future constrained, the demand doesn't diminish, the prices continue to go up over time.
Yeah, and there will be times where it will flatten or go down a little bit, and we've experienced those times. But again, as long as you can afford to pay your mortgage, it will be worth more over time.
And part of what Michael and I are huge advocates of is not even thinking about predicting the future, right? It's really just what we call the 3 F's, your family, your finances, and your future. If you can satisfy your 3 F's and you can afford to buy, it's the right thing to do for your family, it's the right thing to do for your next 3 to 5 or 7 or 10 years, then buy. And as long as time fixes everything in San Francisco. So if you were buying, we ask people about their goals, right? We sit down with them. You're like, I want to buy this place, I want to sell it in a year. Then you probably shouldn't be buying because there's no way to know what's going to happen in a year, right? But if you're buying a primary residence and you're going to be there for a minimum of 3 to 4 years, you cannot make a mistake buying in San Francisco and the greater Bay Area, especially when you're buying a primary residence. Investment, different hat, different strategies. When you're buying a place to live, buy a place you want to live in, that you can afford to live in, that you'd like to live in, and you can't really make a mistake doing it.
And our advice too, when you're buying real estate too, is really focus on things you cannot change. You can change the kitchen countertops. You can change the hardwood floors. I can't tell you how many people tell me they hate the color of the paint. You can change the paint color. You cannot change location, and it's very difficult to change square footage. So try to tee up a fantastic location as best as you can within your budget, and something that's big enough for you and your family or your co-inhabitants, so that if the market does turn slightly, you're not forced to sell during that time. You can see a house like a stock. There will be times it might be down a little bit and you don't sell during those times. That's why you want to make sure you're in a space that's big enough for you and your family or friends. That way you can wait, a little bit of time for the market to ride up again.